Sir, could you tell us, will Calgarians have all the financial information before the plebiscite on June 6th?
I sure hope so. That's always been the goal. I don't think it's fair to ask people to vote without the information, but we really do need to make sure that our partners at the Government of Alberta and the Government of Canada are ready to have that information plenty of time before the plebiscite.
Mr. Hare was clear last week on Thursday when he said that information from the federal government wouldn't come out until after the plebiscite. Is that correct?
I think that is incorrect. Certainly that was the first time I'd ever heard anything like that from the federal government. And geez, I talk to them every day.
Premier Notley this morning was just asked about holding back her numbers until there are the federal numbers, and she said, well, that sounds interesting, but I think we're still planning. She gave the impression that she doesn't. The message you've been trying to send to the province hasn't got through to her. It sounded that way.
I think everything is very fluid at the moment, so hopefully it'll all be sorted out in the next day or two.
If the feds don't come up with their announcement, could this plebiscite be cancelled?
Geez, it would be hard to do that. 1 million ballots have been printed already, as far as I know. But I do want to make sure Calgarians have adequate time to make a decision. Now, there's still a lot of time before the plebiscite. You know, as we all know, especially those of us who are politicians, campaigns really matter, and we still have well over, I think we're 35 days before the plebiscite now. So even if there's 3 weeks before the plebiscite or 2.5 weeks, it's starting to get close, but there still should be plenty of time for people to get their numbers, to get their data done so they can decide how to vote.
How much time is enough?
Well, certainly not the day before. You know, we want to make sure that there's opportunity for good public debate.
Are you still pressing, just so I'm clear, are you still pressing the province to hold back on their numbers until the feds come forward?
I'm trying to press everybody to move as quickly as possible.
Is delaying this even possible?
Delaying what?
The plebiscite?
Oh, gee. These are hard questions. You know, I have to say, Councillor Collier-Cart and I kind of disagree on this matter. I would say it was the city's timing, but it was a logical timing to say that the middle of November is the right time to do it. You get much later than the middle of November, and people really, it's hard to get people's attention in the Christmas season. And if you get into January, you're getting really close to the deadline for the bid book to be submitted. And I just hate spending all that money before we have a sense of what the public's view is.
So what is the logical?
Can it be delayed? Can it?
I mean, look, anything's possible, but that's certainly not anything that anyone's discussed.
So what do we do though if there isn't sufficient information? Is it a matter of discounting the results of the plebiscite in some way, factoring the public engagement is more important, or the hosting plan is more important? How does council make up its mind?
I'm focused on that information has to be out well in advance of the plebiscite.
Councillor Collier was talking about the plebiscite security keeps the province. It's something that was sort of foisted on us. Are we getting to a point where we might end up looking at the plebiscite differently if there's lower turnout, if there wasn't enough time?
You know, it's an excellent question that my colleagues on council will have to grapple with. As far as I'm concerned, as long as those numbers are out, then the plebiscite is as scientific a poll as you could ever get, even if voter turnout is low, of what the people want. So, you know, I certainly will abide by, or at least take very seriously, the results of the plebiscite as we move forward.
Why the hold up from the feds? What's your observation?
I think it's just bureaucracy. I really don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I mean, it's a lot of money. And there are a number of approval mechanisms that you have to go through. And certainly the federal government's been a little busy with NAFTA, with the pipelines and so on. So I imagine that their cabinet meetings have just been packed. So it's important for us to just point out to them that the people of Calgary are voting and they need this information before they vote.
Last question, en français.
Oui.
Monsieur Nenshi, qu'est-ce que vous allez faire si jamais vous n'avez pas toutes les informations rendues au référendum le 13 novembre?
Pour moi, c'est très important que nous avons l'information qu'on a besoin avant le référendum. I don't know how to say plebiscite in French. We'll stick with referendum. Plebiscite. Avant le plebiscite. C'est très, très important pour le gouvernement du Canada, aussi le gouvernement d'Alberta, de donner tous les renseignements aux gens avant le plebiscite. C'est tout. C'est très important qu'on a ça.
Est-ce qu'on pourrait reporter le plébiscite, cependant, si on n'a pas ces informations?
C'est très difficile de faire ça. Pour moi, le travail maintenant est de convaincre tous les autres gouvernements de faire ce qu'on a promis de faire et vraiment de donner tous les renseignements.
Why is this development important for the East Village?
This is so great. So this parkade that's being built across the street from City Hall in the East Village will serve the new Central Library. It will serve the National Music Center. It'll serve all of the other retailers and other things that are going on in East Village. So it's really important. But the super cool thing about it is we're absolutely future-proofing it. So it's also going to be a makerspace. It's going to be a place for innovative companies and startups to come together in this increasingly powerful innovation corridor between the Edison through the East Village into Inglewood and Ramsey. So it is a really cool thing. And if we move to a world of autonomous vehicles where there is less parking needed downtown, then this is the first parking garage I know of that is totally future-proofed that could be easily converted to other uses. And it looks really cool.